Hello, and welcome to our Study Abroad Week programs, where we are talking about our Italy programs today. With me today, I am David Younger. I'm Associate Director in the Study Abroad Office, and with me today are three special guests. We have Antonella Piccinini coming in from Rome. She is our Associate Director of Student Life, and we also have two returnees on this program, Daniel Shaw and Catherine Robinson. Would you guys like to briefly introduce yourselves?
Yeah,
Antonella, why don't we start with
Yes.
you?
Hi guys, I'm Antonella Piccinin and I'm the former rector of the Villa in Rome, and I'm now serving Notre Dame as Associate Director of Student Affairs. So I'm here to support you in your experience in Rome, whether you will decide to join us here.
Katie?
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a senior economics major. I'm from Southern California and I studied abroad in Rome last fall as a junior.
Daniel? Oh, I think we may have lost Daniel. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin us. The pitfalls of doing a live recording. All right, we'll move on. So brief program comparison between all three is, so we have the Rome Undergraduate Program, or RUP. That is the main program that most students participate in. We also have our Rome Scholars Program, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And then finally, we have our Bologna program, and this program is for students who are studying a significant amount of Italian and really want to immerse themselves totally in Italian language. Daniel, I can see that you've rejoined us. Do you want to briefly introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Daniel Shaw. I am a current senior at the University of Notre Dame. I studied abroad in Rome last fall. I was there in the fall. And I study pre-med. I'm a pre-med, science pre-professional is my first major, and I have a second major in sociology.
Great, thank you, Daniel. So as you can see, there are certain things that you should be aware of. The Rome undergraduate program will allow for sophomores and juniors to participate, while the Scholars and Bologna programs are just for juniors. There are certain language requirements, as you can tell as well. The most important thing I want to draw your attention to for Rome is that it is one semester of Italian by the end of your application year, or 2 semesters of Latin by the end of your application year. So that means if you haven't taken any yet, that's perfectly fine. But if you're applying this year, then you need to take either Italian this current semester or next semester in order to be eligible for this. There is no language session in either of the Rome programs, but there is in Bologna, and internships are available across all three. Varying different levels of research that are possible, community engagement. You can get a look at the calendar and how many students are in a cohort as well as who our partners are. So let's jump in and talk a little bit about the Rome Global Gateway. This particular gateway is relatively new to Notre Dame in terms of its location and Notre Dame's ownership of it, although Notre Dame has had a presence in Rome for 5 or 6 decades at this point. This particular building is ND owned and operated, and it's actually where Antonella is broadcasting from today. So we have Notre Dame faculty and staff. Professor Silvia Dall'Olio, who's our executive director, is very familiar with our Rome operations, and she's also very familiar with Notre Dame, having taught here before. Mallory Nardine is our director of programming, student development, and community engagement. She's the person that you'll primarily work with if you have interest in internships and things along that line. And then Antonella Piccinini, as we've indicated before, is our Associate Director of Student Affairs. Like I said, this is our primary location for the students in Rome. Our architecture program is based here as well. So if you have friends in that particular school, that is where they will be studying while they're there in Rome. So let's talk about some of the parallels between these programs. There's an interdisciplinary gateway course, All Roads Lead to Rome. This particular course is taught for all the students in all 3 of our Rome programs. It is required for the RUP and Rome Scholars programs, and it's taught by Notre Dame faculty. It satisfies the requirements in fine arts, history, or literature. One of those 3, and it's taught on site, which means that it's at a different location in Rome every single week. One of the other things that you'll be required to take on this course program is a required Italian or Latin language course. So whichever language you took to qualify for the program, you'll just continue with the next successive course once you're there. And then finally, a 1-credit community-based learning course where you will integrate into the local community, and topics, as you can see, will vary fairly significantly depending upon what your interests are. Katie and Daniel, do you want to talk a little bit about what your experience was with this course? And then Antonella, can you talk a little bit about the course as well?
Sure.
I can go first. So All Roads was, it really was an adventure. You know, every week you went somewhere else and you really got to learn about places that you might have seen or passed by in a really deep, in-depth, historical, interdisciplinary way. One particular day that stands out in my mind was there was one class where we just shot across Rome. We went to 5 different churches from different eras, and we kind of looked at the differences and similarities between them. We ended at Santa Maria Maggiore, which is just this absolutely gorgeous church, very close, relatively close to the villa. And it was just a great day, and you saw so much and learned so much about the city of Rome.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts from All Roads was the community-based learning program. I got to volunteer at Sant'Egidio, which is a Catholic association dedicated to social service. And so what I did is I helped prepare and distribute meals to the homeless, and it ended up being a super rewarding experience because Romans were so grateful for the help, and you got to work on your Italian language skills and communicating with the locals.
So yes, if I can just say a few words, I think that the specificity of these 2 courses in particular is that you are exposed to experience the city of Rome and to learn not only inside the classroom, that of course will help you to understand better what you're going to experience outside the classroom, but again, the outside the classroom is very important as well for us in order for you students to be able to engage in the new culture and to discover the city and the Italian culture in general. While the All Roads Lead to Rome, it's more related to being accompanied in visiting specific historical, cultural, and artistic places, as the 2 guys were saying. The community-based learning course is more on being engaged in the city of Rome, in experiencing and also a way of helping the society, like Katie was explaining. So the idea is that you will be engaged actively and not only passively through reading books or seeing things around you. But we would like, through this course, you to be always more creative in your way of being curious when you're also outside the program.
Great, thank you, everyone. So as we've mentioned, internships are available in Rome. We've had a number of students who have interned over the last several years on this program at Salvator Mundi Hospital, the Pontifical Academy for Life, the Justice, Peace, and Integration of Creation, or JPIC Commission, and then the Università La Sapienza as well. And we have a picture of that coming up in just a little bit. But students have had a wide variety of internships. Antonella, can you talk just a brief moment about the types of internships that are available and the experiences that students have?
Sure, these are just a few examples, and it depends, of course, on your area of interest. So if you're interested in becoming like a pre-med, like Daniel is, probably you will be more interested in the Salvator Mundi opportunity. But there are many others also with the Vatican institutions, which in my view, it's unique for Notre Dame students, for students that come from abroad. So I guess that you might be interested in looking more into this, and of course you can just email me or Mallory asking questions or proposing a specific area of interest, and we can definitely work with you to find the opportunity that is best for you.
Yes, literally dozens of opportunities available through the Gateway, and dozens more through John Cabot University, our primary partner in Rome, for the RUP program, which we'll get to in just a second. So definitely, if you're looking at an internship, Rome is a great place to do it. So let's talk about the Rome undergraduate program. I mentioned John Cabot a moment ago. This is our primary partner for the RUP, or undergraduate program. It's open to students of every college. For the most part, the courses that you're going to take on this program are a wide variety of arts and letters disciplines. You might have the occasional Mendoza course as well. A lot of the courses in this program are going to be university requirements. So I know I said it's open to students of every college, but it's mostly arts and letters or business courses that are available. This means if you're in the College of Science or Engineering, you can come to Rome and you can come on this program. Just be aware that you won't be taking courses in science or engineering on it. You'll be taking university requirements, or perhaps fulfilling a supplementary major or second major or minor. This program is open in either fall or spring semester, and their calendar largely mirrors ours. Katie and Daniel, can you talk a little bit about what your experience was like in classes at John Cabot?
Sure. I really enjoyed my classes at JCU. What was nice for my experience was I got to have a schedule that was very Italy-centric. A lot of my classes related to Italy in some way, or talked about some aspect of the history or the modern social issues, because I'm a sociology major, so I got to talk about contemporary Italian issues as well. And it was really nice to be able to understand Italy in the classroom in such a full way, and it's very easy to do that because they have so many courses related to Italy. In terms of, I'm sure that the question that a lot of people are probably wondering is the difficulty of the courses, because I know that's, we're students, we think about that. And it's not the same level of difficulty that a Notre Dame course would have. However, like you do work. It's not like a blow off sort of thing. So you frequently have readings and class participation. So it's something that you have to put effort into, but it's also very rewarding. So I really had a very positive experience in the classroom at JCU.
Yeah, I went to Rome as a junior economics major, and it was great because I was able to fulfill most of my university requirements at JCU and one of my major electives for economics. One of my favorite parts was I took a lot of art history courses, and the professors get to take you to actually see those artworks in the churches and the museums. So it made the experience like a lot more rewarding for me.
That's great. Thank you, guys. So the housing on this particular program, I'm going to go through this slide, and our next slide is a lot of pictures. And during that slide is when Antonella will talk about the housing program at our programs. So for the most part, it's a dormitory style residence near to the gateway. It's 4 to 8 person rooms, and there are certain suites that we will set up as Italian language suites. There's a common kitchen for the whole building. Linens are provided, so you don't need to worry about bringing sheets or towels, and there are laundry facilities right there in the building. It's as I mentioned, a very quick walk to the gateway. It's a little bit longer of a walk to the John Cabot campuses. Public transportation is available, but your daily commute, if you walked, will take you right past the Coliseum, the Forum, and the Circus Maximus, and then a walk along the Tiber. Not many people get to claim that as their daily commute. So numerous extracurricular activities through the gateway as well as through John Cabot. There is a partial meal plan available at the villa every semester. The details on that get ironed out in the weeks before the semester begins, so I'm not going to talk about it in specific yet, but usually it includes dinners several nights of the week. And then, like most of our programs in study abroad, there is a stipend or a living allowance provided. So I'm going to go to the next slide so you can see the pictures, but then I'll let Antonella talk a little bit about housing, and Katie and Daniel can also talk about their experience with housing and the commute to campus as well.
Yeah, thank you, David. Well, as you can see from the pictures, the villa is as beauty as the pictures show to you. So I guess that this is unique for anybody coming to Rome. Even for me as a Roman, I think that the villa is just amazing. And it's not only that, of course, it's also a place that is full of history and historical importance. And I would invite you, if you're interested, to look at the website of the RGG to discover more about this building. And of course, if you will be in Rome, we can talk about that even more. And the other point is, of course, is location, because it's not, as they were saying, it's not just a few minutes walk away from the Gateway or the JCU, but it's right in the city center. I mean, as a Roman, it's just incredible that if I want to take a break and I have just to walk 200 steps and I find the Colosseum right in front of me. And so I think that it's really an amazing place to stay. And the villa staff and the students are of course called to live together and to build their own living learning community. So it's not just a way of continuing your experience in a dorm, but more in our view to try to build a real house, a real home for you here in Rome. You might see some of the differences. I guess that both Daniel and Katie can say more about that. I can also just introduce you a few ways in which the community can be built and improved, and it's of course through different activities that we usually host at the villa. So starting with the language mixer, language exchange with other Italian young people. So we would like you, of course, to meet people of your age that are coming from this town, so that you can see the city with the eyes of a real Roman, but at the same time to help a Roman to see the city with the eyes of a foreigner. And there are, of course, the opportunity of short trips and hikings near Rome. There are scavi tours in St. Peter, and of course visiting the main basilicas, museums, and some sports, and of course the spiritual life is also supported by the campus ministry and by the villa staff.
Katie, Daniel, can you talk a little bit about living in the villa and its access to the rest of the city?
Yeah, the location, you feel so spoiled being here. The location is insane. It's great. Yeah, it's so central. It's steps from the Colosseum, as Antonella was talking about, and it's and the grounds and it's just so beautiful as well. So even if you just need a moment to collect yourself, you can step outside of your room and just sit outside in the grounds. It's just really nice to just kind of recenter yourself. In terms of the commute to JCU, it's long. It's about 35 to 40 minutes, as you said before, but it is the most beautiful walk you might ever take in your life. You walk past the Colosseum, the Forum, and you walk across the river and along Trastevere to get to JCU, and it's so beautiful. I took it almost every time I was going to campus, except if the weather was particularly bad, and if that was a problem, then there were many buses and also a tram that could take you there very easily. So there are options available if you don't want to take the walk, but it's a great walk.
Yeah, I loved living in the villa too. I was living in a room with 6 other girls, and it was just a great community, and there's always people around to talk to, and the villa staff do a really great job of coming up with activities for the weekend, so you never don't have anything to do. And also, I really liked being on the meal plan, because Monday through Wednesday, they have a chef come in and make you dinner, so then you can eat with all your friends and you don't have to worry about cooking anything. And yeah, it was just a really great community.
Great, thanks everyone. So let's talk a little bit about the Rome Scholars Program. This program is open to students of every college, and we've had students from science, arts and letters, and business participate. We have yet to get an engineer, but hopefully you're the next one. It's got an independent research component to it that's for 3 credits, and internships are actually built in as part of the curriculum and are 3 credits as well. Extensive service learning is available through that 1 credit course that we were talking about, but also could be part of your internship instead of, doing an internship. You could do the service learning instead. Courses can be taken at any of these institutions that are listed here, and there may even be others that are possible. So we can really try to find curriculum that will be tailored towards your major and the things that you are specifically interested in. The fall program, again, runs just like the other program, the Rome undergraduate program, runs more or less just like the Notre Dame semester might, and same thing with the spring. Although spring will go through June in terms of coursework simply because of the partner universities, the Gregoriano or Tre or Sapienza. Those universities typically run through June. And of course, if you're doing a internship that extends into the summer, we will work with you to extend your visa all the way through mid-August if need be. Homestays are a part of this particular program, and just like all of our other programs, a living allowance is provided. And there's that summer research grant that I talked about. Antonella, could you talk a little bit about this program, but in particular the homestays that are available and what the student experience is like?
Well, we usually offer the students the opportunity to live in the homestays with family, and as long as I heard from the previous Rome International scholars, this is always a unique experience for them because, of course, they can share the life of an Italian family and see maybe differences in the way of living, also just the way of organizing the day, and they can, of course, try to improve their language, the Italian, and also they have a family environment, which is another way to approach a different culture and different country. So this is.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. I moved our pictures over just so that you could see the full picture. All right, we're going to move on to a different part of the country now. We're going to talk a little bit about the Bologna program. Unfortunately, we don't have any Bologna returnees to talk about the program today, but that's okay. I'm very familiar with it. This program, similarly to all the other Rome programs, is that it is open to students of every college, and we've had students in science as well as business and arts and letters go on this program. It is the oldest university in the Western world. There's some debate as to whether or not it's the oldest university in the world as well. It's located a bit further north in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy. All courses on this program are taught wholly in Italian, and all academic disciplines are possible. It's a full-fledged university. They have several thousand, over 10 or 20,000 students at this university. And so there are lots and lots of opportunities for different academic disciplines. A lot of those courses can be approved for university requirements as well. As mentioned very early on, there is a language pre-session for this program. So you're not just thrown in right into the midst of academic courses. You get a chance to get your feet wet with the language, as it were. Obviously, you will have been studying it for 2 years before you go, but this is a great opportunity to really familiarize yourself and start to get used to using it on a daily basis. The academic year program for this runs from late August through June. And then the spring program would start in January, again with the pre-program, and then go through June. Fall typically goes all the way through December, and then your final exams are in January, which is why this program is generally an academic year or spring semester only program. With this particular program, in terms of housing, it is independent housing, which means that you end up finding your own housing. Now, a lot of students think, oh my goodness, I can't possibly do that. The reality is we've been sending students on this program for longer than I've been here, and I've been at the university for 12 years at this point, and we have yet to have a student not secure housing. I'm going to knock on the wood of my desk there, but it's never been an issue. And there have been some semesters where we've sent as many as a dozen students on this program, and all of them have secured their own housing. The city of Bologna is very close, which means everything is within walking distance. So you can walk or you can take the bus. We even had a student before actually rent a bike their semester while they were there. And just like our other programs, there is a living allowance and stipend. That stipend is a little bit different than it would be, say, in most other programs, because most other programs, housing is provided. So the stipend is different in Rome or in Bologna. It's a bit increased just to help cover your rent costs. But this is a great opportunity as well. So let's take a look at the summary of eligibility here. Again, we have our Rome Scholars Program, our Rome Undergraduate Program, and the Bologna Program. I'm going to slide these pictures off the screen here for just a moment so you can see everything. Generally, you're going to apply as a sophomore unless you are applying for the undergraduate program as a first-year student. Minimum GPA across the board is a 3.0, and you can tell that there are certain other requirements in terms of language, which courses you will need to take ahead of time. There is also going to be, for the Bologna program, a language reference that is required, and then for the Rome undergraduate program, a academic reference as well. So I'm going to bring these back, and then hopefully we've caught your interest. And if you're interested in applying for this program, our application deadline is November 1. So at 11:59 p.m. November 1st, that is when the application deadline closes. You can go to studyabroad.nd.edu, search through our programs and click through to each of these programs that you have interest in, and read even more about each program that we haven't even talked about today. So there's plenty of information on our website. Jump right in, take a look, and you'll be able to apply from those websites there. You'll need to log in with your NetID and password, but it is there. Finally, I just want to give you our contact information as well. So I'm obviously listed there as Associate Director. We've got our returnees listed as well, and feel free to reach out to them. They've given permission to share their email, so their emails are there. And of course, Antonella is available via email as well. If you would like to set up a Zoom meeting with me, that's perfectly fine too. I'm happy to meet with you if you have further questions or want further clarification on anything. And you can do that via our website at studyabroad.nd.edu. Finally, an invitation to join us on social media. You can see our Instagram and Twitter and Facebook handles there. Thank you for joining us today on this program to talk about our Italy study abroad programs. Really looking forward to seeing your application and from hearing from you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao, thank you.